And now we lead into Vista Pro's Buzzer Beaters.
Yep, let's see it.
Kevin.
All right, we're going same way.
Mr. Lassiter is going to bring us some preseason baseball news.
I love this. Thank you so much,
right.
Kevin.
Changing up
is
the
alive.
pace of things. Y'all know I used to always talk about football. I love football.
The only thing I know.
But many people may not know baseball was my first love. It was the first sport I played as a kid, and I used to be kind of good at it. And then all of a sudden I was like, hey, I got muscles. I want to go run into people now. So I switched to football. So let me know. Tell me when to go, Cody. Go. All right, so here's a quick little baseball sum up. Spring training schedule's been announced. The MLB has released the 2026 training schedule. The Cactus and the Grapefruit Leagues are kicked off as of February 20th, and all teams will be in action by the 21st. And exhibition games for the World Baseball Classic are set for March 3rd through the 4th. The Milwaukee Brewers signed Gary Sanchez to a 1-year deal worth $1.75 million. And also the Tigers agreed to I got to learn how to hit a baseball again, 3-year, $115 million contract with Framber Valdez. The San Diego Padres signed Miguel Andujar, and the Boston Red Sox inked a deal with Isaiah Falefa. And the Pirates also added Mike Clevenger to the roster. So a lot of big baseball signings are happening. A lot of players trying to make the cut of a team or not. We're looking forward to bring you more MLB news along with our high school baseball that's coming up.
What do you think about California no longer being able to sign players because they're trying to avoid taxes?
Too much money.
They're coming to Arizona, baby. I love it.
You know, that whole rule with taxes and athletes is just crazy. If you want to read something funny, go research the Michael Jordan rule.
Oh, dude, I've got an even better one. Check out what Shohei Ohtani, how he's getting paid. He's getting paid like $1 million per year, and then when he retires, he moves away and gets his lump sum, so he doesn't have to pay any taxes.
Genius.
Yeah.
Genius.
Dude, I'm like,
when you're dealing with that kind of money, it makes sense that they're going to figure out the best way to
nearly $1 billion.
Get some of it back
to keep it, right?
Nearly $1 billion.
All right, for my buzzer beater, you know what I mean, I'm going to keep it basketball.
All right.
I'm gonna kind of focus on the NBA, so I'm ready. Because we're in the fourth quarter of the NBA season. I'm with some did you know stuff probably most people don't know. Did you know who the best team record-wise in the NBA is right now?
Pistons.
It is the Detroit Pistons, right? So they're barely better than the Oklahoma City Thunder. Kind of a surprise because most people don't think of the Pistons. But if you don't know, you should know about Cade Cunningham. Probably right now front runner for MVP based off of some rule technicalities on who can qualify. We'll talk about that another time. But I got to give a shout out to Detroit Pistons. If you didn't know, Boston Celtics, familiar name, but it's still a surprise that they're this good this season because remember, Jason Tatum, their quote unquote best player, tore his Achilles last season. He hasn't even played, but Jaylen Brown has completely stepped up. He's in the MVP conversation as well. Got to give it up to the Boston Celtics. I'm going to skip over to the Western Conference now, where we all know about the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're still as good as whatever, as good as they were last year. The Spurs, Victor Wembanyama living up to his alien persona. They are looking so good. I will say this too, a little bit surprised, the Phoenix Suns locally, they're looking like they're going to be a play-in team. Right now they're running at the seventh seed, not having a terrible season, but it's not looking good. Devin Booker's been out.
The point guard,
Brooks. He's also out for a few weeks, and they were looking good. So we'll see.
Shout out to my Miami Heat because they beat Houston last night.
Oh,
Miami Heat's looking good too, man. They're inconsistent though.
Yes, they are very much.
But
so.
I think I saw that they're like the number one offense in the league. They play with the most pace.
When it works right, it works.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like
they got defensive players out there too.
Yeah, hope we can keep Bam.
All right. I'm a little bit all over the place for the buzzer beater today, so I'm gonna hit up on the combine and talk a little bit about U of A basketball. So let me know when the buzzer gets going. All right, Cody, thank you, sir. So combine just finishing up this evening in Indianapolis, and we saw some incredible, notable numbers from our local boys that play for the Wildcats. Traydon Stukes, he ran a 4.33 40-yard dash, and ran he did his broad jump at like 10'8". A lot of good numbers for him out there. Dalton Johnson also ran a 4.41. he was a safety from Arizona as well. So shout out to those guys. Koa Pete makes a return to the court from his injuries, and wow is all I can say. We had a 19-0 start against Kansas, and then they come out with a second half run and just go crazy on the Jayhawks. And so, we get a share of the regular season title moving into the Big 12 championship. Got a couple games to finish up this week. We got to get Iowa State and then finish off with Colorado and see where these boys land come March Madness. And it's exciting to see some very exciting basketball happening up in Tucson. And another one more shout out. 32-0 is, I believe, what I saw up at Pima Community College this season, is still undefeated as we speak and continuing their tear through junior college basketball. So
shout out to Coach.
Coach. What's his name?
Man. Coach Peabody.
Peabody. I was gonna say it's Brian Peabody. I want to make sure he was still there. So long time name out of Tucson. If you don't know who that is, he's South Point coach, Ironwood Ridge coach. A lot of years, so he's done a great job. So hats off to Coach Peabody's success with that program. Yeah, and hopefully going to make a big run at maybe a national title coming into Tucson.
Oh my gosh,
it'd be awesome to see.
That would be great.
Dominance. Few people can ever say that they've accomplished what he has at Pima.
All right, I'm ready to rock and roll, baby. On to the NFL again. All right. So like Jared was saying, it's the NFL Combine time. And if you don't know, this is where people get measured, their size, their weight, how fast they are, how strong they are. But what also happens during the NFL Combine is where everybody gets together, people start talking about trades and free agency and releasing certain players. So first what happened was Javon Hargrave is going to be released here as soon as very soon. Aaron Jones, also with the Vikings, is going to be released. Indy quarterback Richardson, drafted in the first round, is being given permission to seek a trade. Yeah, and he's like the most physically unreal specimen in a long time. Notre Dame Jeremiah Love ran a 4.36, top running back in the draft. Ohio State Sonny Styles, 6'4", actually 6'5", they measured him, 244, ran a 4.27. 4.27, he's a linebacker.
Nuts.
Most insane thing I've ever seen. I wanted him on, anyway. I wanted the Chiefs to draft him, but probably not. Probably won't happen. Arkansas quarterback ran a 4.36. He's also 6'6" and somewhere in the 220s, 230s. And finally, Ruben Bain, the top defensive end in the draft, the Miami guy. He has short arms. So they're talking about him not even being drafted in the top 10. I don't think that's going to happen, but 30-inch arms are not long. You know, I've got 32-inch arms.
You know, there was a guy that had short arms a while back. I remember it played very well. His name was John Randall.
Oh yeah, and Joe Thomas. See, the funny thing is, this is the thing that they don't do is they measure different ways. So they don't measure the width of your shoulders. They with the length of your arm all the way out
to your middle finger.
Yeah, all the way to your middle finger. And so, like some guys have super broad, long shoulders, and they've got the wingspan. They can block. I mean, so. That size doesn't always mean everything. These numbers don't always mean everything. They got to get on the field, but these are some pretty ridiculous numbers.
The underwear Olympics, as they call it.
Yeah. I was going to say that.
I'm sorry, man.
No.
Good help. Good assist.
I forgot it totally. Yeah, it was the underwear Olympics. So,
I got a question for you, John.
Yeah.
Because you talk a lot about not throwing away a quarterback too soon.
Yeah.
Is Richardson a guy that in a new place with a new system around him, could he emerge into a star, kind of like have a Daniel Jones kind of resurgence?
Dude, you sit a guy like that with physical abilities behind a guy. So let's think about like Jordan Love is a very athletic guy. They put him behind Aaron Rodgers, and he learns the game for 2 seasons. He comes in, he starts, his very first season, he played really well, giving these guys a different, a chance to sit and learn the game, or giving them, like you were saying, Daniel Jones, taking over on a new team, and you're like, oh, all of a sudden, this guy fits exactly what we need. But the thing is these guys can go to a different coach. Andy Reid is one of the great quarterback coaches. If he can teach Vic, you remember how Vic was awesome, right? But he left the NFL for some pretty terrible reasons. And when he came back, he was still pretty rusty. And Andy Reid has the ability to make quarterbacks better. You know, he can refurbish and he can polish and he helps with the decision making. That he and Shanahan are both really good at making their quarterbacks better. So yes, I think that this is exactly one of those
the
things.
starter there?
What's that?
So it was Daniel Jones, but remember he went down with was it Achilles or his knee injury?
Achilles, yeah.
Achilles around maybe mid-season,
Yep.
late to mid-season,
Right.
so he could
then-
be back in time maybe for week 1, I think.
They're saying that.
Another one,
Achilles.
couple important folks to watch is Malik Willis and
Yes.
Mr. Kyler Murray.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
Tua Tagovailoa.
See where these guys all land if they're gonna land something. And
Any of them
There
could come
are-
to Baltimore and be a backup, and I'd be happy with it.
there
You
are
know, I was
talks.
going to say the same thing about Dallas. I'm fine with them coming to Dallas and being a backup for Dak
Heck
Prescott.
yeah.
I think the difference between backing up Dak Prescott and Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson, you're a backup quarterback for sure. If you bring a big name or even a semi-big name to Dallas, it's going to cause controversy over
Yep.
who's starting every single week.
Yep.
So, you know, we talked about this before. There's certain guys in the NFL that are just backup quarterbacks, and they have to accept that that's how they are and what they are.
Yeah.
Because if they try to challenge the status quo, they're going to mess stuff up.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
You know
Jared,
what I
with
mean?
those guys you just named, which one you think of them is going to be like the highest paid with their next contract?
I think it's Willis. He was throwing 70%.
Over Richardson?
Yeah, well, he had 70%, and he played really, really well. It's like he learned how to be another guy that sat behind Jordan Love, you know, so he sat on the bench. And then when he came in, he started playing like a game manager, and being a physical specimen with game manager mentality is like the best combination you can have.
But I don't think a contender would bring in Willis as their starting quarterback. It'd have to be a bad team.
Right.
It's like, hey, we'll see what happens. Let's see what.
Well,
but
what if
Kyler
New
Murray
Orleans-
is somebody that I could see a contending team being like, hey, we need a guy. And
Yeah.
he's,
One of those three is going to be the starting quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders next year. That's my prediction.
No,
One of them
Mendoza.
three. He's not going to start.
They're
You don't
saying
think so?
they're saying Gino's gonna stay in Vegas.
Really?
We'll
Do you
find
want
out.
Gino to be the mentor? Like, I don't have a problem with Gino, but I don't necessarily think that's a good idea.
Depends on the OC.
Yeah, that's a big. That's a good point.
That's the new OC coming in there, so we'll see what that OC does with
Oh boy.
those coaches. So
Real
All
quick
right.
question before we move on, because we both two guys talked about the combine and stuff.
Oh yeah.
How much of the numbers of 40 time, shoulder length and arm length and
cone
height,
drills
weight,
and
cone-
shuttles.
How much of that stuff matters? Not just, I'm not saying how much does it matter on the court, on the field. I'm saying how much of that stuff holds weight to the draft.
Oh,
GMs.
I can chime in on this one with a former local kid that played here at Buena. So we had a kid about 15 years ago, Lawrence Gibson, who leaves here, goes to a prep academy in Virginia, ends up at Virginia Tech, plays under Beamer for 2 years, has incredible seasons, goes to the combine, goes and out of 6 of the categories, stays at the top before the 6 categories. Comes out of the combine like, oh my gosh, everybody knows who Lawrence Gibson is. This guy's a phenom. He's crazy. Has horrible film.
yeah.
No film. Has nothing at all to help pursue anything. And so he gets drafted dead last
He was Mr. Irrelevant.
and goes with the Cowboys. Jerry Jones calls him. He sent me, Lawrence sent me the voicemail and the YouTube video and says, hey, we're bringing you to Dallas. He floats around for 2-3 years, goes to Houston, goes to the Chiefs, goes to Falcons, just kind of bounces around the NFL because there wasn't enough film. If he had better film at Virginia Tech,
Who knows?
we'd still see him playing.
So what that means is, and Jared just made the point that I wanted to make, which is great combine numbers can get you drafted. If you're a guy who, because we all know the top players, right?
Do you
We know who
remember
these guys are.
Tony
We've
Mandarich?
seen them. Yeah, we've seen the top players on video all season making big plays, right? But let's say you one of them you went to a small school or the measurables aren't all that great on you, but you can fly, you can run, or you know, that can get a guy drafted. This guys you may not have ever heard of, but they come to the combine and show out and they get to play. And so like Darius Hayward-Bay was a guy that wasn't a great player coming out of college, but he was the fastest man at the combine that year, and he got drafted. And you know, Yamon Figures was a guy who wasn't the greatest player coming out of college, but he went to the combine and ran like a 4.3 something, and he got drafted by the Baltimore Ravens. So things like that happens just because you put up great numbers. So for a guy who maybe doesn't have the best film, the numbers matter. But if you're a player like y'all talked about, the guy from Miami who's got the short arms, he's going to get drafted
in the top
because we've seen game after game after game of him tackling people. He's going to get drafted. So if you're a great player, it doesn't matter that much.
So what I'd love to see is non-quarterbacks, because you can't put quarterbacks in this, but take quarterbacks out. Out of all of the top combine performers from 5 years ago, where are they now? And then I'd like to see the top, 10 to 15 players. I mean, again, take out quarterbacks. But if you take out top 20 non-quarterback players in NFL and look at how they performed in the combine, I think that would just be interesting to me to see.
I think you'll see, in my opinion, tight ends and linemen who perform well at the combine usually play pretty good too.
Oh, for sure. And
tight ends and linemen.
Safeties, like if you draft a safety in the first round, they are usually very good.
Well, I mean, I remember like DK Metcalf, was it? Like when he was in the combine a few years ago and he just like mesmerized everybody because he's so big, and then he showed like how fast he is and stuff like
220.
that. And it's like, yes, for some guys, the combine is an eye opener.
Right.
But you know how it is. It's like that 4.2, 4.3 speed, when you put pads on,
right.
When you're head to head with somebody, how much is that gonna matter? You know,
right? Yeah, when it's power on power versus speed, linemen versus dude. I think that's a great discussion.
Well, I mean, I think DK has proved himself true.
I 100% agree.
But
that Buda Baker interception, and he tracks him down at Arizona. That was incredible.
He's crazy.
Like just to see those guys. But like you said, the numbers do help. I mean, I was going to ask, Kevin, you played D1 ball at Morgan State. You had all this chances, and if you had film, if you had this or that, if had a pro day or whatever, things would have been, different.
If I had great film and if I ran a 4.44, but I think, again, if you have those crazy measurables that with the lack of film, it can help you. And then, some guys, and I think the combine is one of those other resources that will help a person get one more rep. The Senior Bowl is a thing like that. Your pro day's a thing like that. Yes, and the combine is a thing like that as well.
I've seen some draft stock go up out of the last couple Senior Bowls for sure. Some of these interior guys.
So better. I'd rather watch the Senior Bowl than the Combine, honestly, because the Senior Bowl has some great players, and those are the guys that the backup running back. You'll end up with all the guys that fill out your team.
And it's a game, not just cones.
Yeah, and you got all your coaches out there, dude. Yeah. It's ideal.
Yeah.